Radar is an acronym for Radio Direction and Ranging. In a nutshell, your radar scanner transmits a high-power beam of microwave energy down a known line of bearing. Solid objects in the path of the beam will reflect this energy back to the scanner as an echo. A computer inside the radar scanner converts these echoes into an image of the surrounding area and transmits it to the display where it's presented to you as an image. On the radar display, your boat's position is generally fixed at the center of the display, and the path dead ahead of the boat is represented by a line called the ship's heading marker. Radar contacts appear on the display in yellow, with weaker echoes appearing in shades of blue. Your Raymarine radar scanner is very sensitive and can detect objects as small as lobster pot buoys or the reflective tape on a person's life jacket to objects as big as large ships or even thunderstorm cells. At the top of the radar window is a data bar with information that is vital to interpreting what you see on the screen. The items presented on the data bar include the radar range, the range ring interval, the orientation of the radar, and the radar's motion mode. The radar range scale is indicated on the left side of the data bar. The range scale is the distance from the center of the radar display to the top edge of the display. You can change the radar range at any time by pressing the range key on the keyboard. Pressing the range in the out or up direction shows you targets at a greater distance from your boat. Your radar will have a maximum range scale of 24, 48, or 72 miles depending on the scanner you have. Pressing the range key in the in or down direction shows you the targets close into the boat in greater detail. All Raymarine radars have a minimum range scale of 1/8 of a nautical mile, equivalent to about 760 feet. Behind the radar image, range rings help you gauge the approximate distance from your boat to the target. The interval between the range rings changes depending on the range scale in use. The range ring interval is always indicated on the top right corner of the radar data bar. You also have the option to turn the range rings off. To turn them off or on, press the presentation soft key. Then press the range ring soft key to toggle them off or on. Press the cancel key to back out of the menu. The radar data bar also tells you the radar's orientation. By default, the radar is set to operate in head-up orientation. In head-up orientation, your boat's direction of travel is always to the 12 o'clock position at the top of the radar window. A head-up display provides the most realistic presentation of radar targets as you see them in the real world. In head-up mode, objects on your port side will appear to the left of the ship's heading marker, and objects on your starboard side will appear to the right of the ship's heading marker. For this reason, head-up is usually the easiest presentation for the novice radar operator to understand, and it's the best choice for operating in fog or darkness when radar contacts may not be able to be seen visually. Your radar also supports north-up orientation. In north-up orientation, true or magnetic north is always presented at the 12 o'clock position at the top of the radar window. Your ship's heading marker acts like the pointer on a compass and points to your actual heading on the radar scope. North-up orientation is very useful when you're using the radar in conjunction with a paper navigation chart or chart plotter in north-up, as the landmass you see on the radar will be in the same orientation as you see it on the chart. When looking at other moving contacts on the north-up radar display, you must always remember to look at your ship's heading marker first to determine if the contact is on your port or starboard side, depending on what heading you're steering. Your radar also supports a third orientation mode called course up. This advanced mode of operation aligns the radar image to match either your locked autopilot heading, the bearing to your next waypoint, or your boat's heading at the time course up is selected. Course up operation varies depending on what individual sensors and devices are connected to your multifunction display, and whether or not there is an active waypoint or route on the system. For full details on operating the radar in course up mode, please see your multifunction display reference manual. To select between the different orientation modes, press the presentation soft key. Press the Radar Mode and Orientation soft key, and then use the Orientation soft key to select between Head Up, North Up, or Course Up orientation. Press the Cancel key 2 times to back out of the menu. The final piece of information on the data bar is the radar's motion mode. The default motion mode is called relative motion. In relative motion, your boat is stationary on the radar display. Land, other boats, buoys, and other radar targets all move in relation to your boat. Your radar is also capable of presenting in true motion mode. In true motion mode, everything on the radar display moves at its actual speed. In true motion, your boat moves across the display at whatever course and speed you are actually moving at. When you get near the edge of the radar display, the position of your boat is reset to the opposite side of the window automatically. In true motion mode, stationary objects like land, fixed navigation aids, and boats that are stopped do not move. In a nutshell, true motion mode gives you the bird's eye view of what's happening, as if you were looking down on the scene from space. To select between the different motion modes, press the Presentation soft key. Press the Radar Mode and Orientation soft key, and then use the Motion Mode soft key to select between relative motion or true motion. Press the Cancel key 2 times to back out of the menu. Another useful feature of the radar display is called Offset Mode. Typically, the position of your boat is located at the geometric center of the radar screen. The ship's heading marker represents your heading, and you have an equidistant view of targets directly ahead and directly astern of your boat. With Offset Mode, you have the option to move the center of the radar screen either 1/3 or 2/3 of the diameter of the screen astern. This effectively gives you more radar look-ahead distance for a given range scale. Keep in mind, however, that you've also effectively reduced the radar visibility astern, so keep alert for other boats overtaking you. Offset mode is best utilized in head-up mode, but is also an option in north-up or course-up modes. Offset is a great feature to use when you're navigating in a narrow channel or waterway, such as a river or the intercoastal waterway, when you're most concerned with traffic coming at you in the opposite direction. To activate the offset mode, press the Presentation soft key. Press the Radar Mode and Orientation soft key, then use the Vessel Offset soft key to select between 0 offset, 1/3 offset, or 2/3 offset. Press the Cancel key 2 times to back out of the menu. In conditions of bad weather, fog, darkness, or restricted visibility, radar becomes your virtual eyeballs, allowing you to see the world around you when your true eyes cannot. There are several controls built into the radar system to enhance its performance under poor weather conditions. These controls are called Sea Clutter, Rain Clutter, and FTC. Radar echoes from waves directly around the boat can clutter the center of the radar picture, making it difficult to detect small targets. Adjusting the Sea Clutter controls will reduce this interference for up to 5 nautical miles around the center of the radar display. To access Sea Clutter control, start by pressing the Gain soft key. Under the leftmost key labeled C, there are 3 modes of operation. Harbor mode automatically takes into account the effects of clutter from nearby land targets and prevents small contacts on the water from being lost. Use this setting when you're in a harbor, bay, or in close proximity to land. Offshore mode continually calculates the amount of sea clutter control necessary based on the prevailing sea conditions. Use this setting once you're out on the open water. Manual mode enables you to set your own desired level of clutter control. Toggle to manual, and then use the twist and click control knob to make your selection. Press OK to save your selection, and then cancel to exit the Gain menu. Similar to the Sea Clutter control, the Rain and FTC settings allow you to filter out clutter from the display. The FTC, or Fast Time Constant function, eliminates clutter at distances greater than 5 miles from the boat, and can be used to separate large and small contacts in close proximity to one another. For an example, adjusting FTC helps you to be able to better see small boats inside a rain squall. The rain control minimizes the effects of falling or blowing snow, rain, dust, and sand. This control minimizes the bulk effects of radar energy reflected by these particles, making actual targets easier to see. To access rain and FTC settings, press the Gain soft key. Then press the respective soft key for FTC or rain control. Use the twist and click knob to adjust the control as necessary, and then press OK to save your changes. Sometimes it's difficult to remember when to use the rain control versus the FTC control. As a rule of thumb, when it's raining on you, use the rain control. When it's raining on someone else, use FTC. And if it's raining everywhere, use both controls. For more information on these and other manual adjustments to the radar, please see your multifunction display reference guide. Radar gain adjusts the overall sensitivity of the radar's receiver. Your Raymarine radar has a fully automated system for adjusting radar gain, which does an excellent job of managing this setting under most conditions. In rare cases, you may wish to override the radar's automatic gain settings. Examples of when you might want to do this might be for increasing gain to look for seabirds out on the horizon, or decreasing the radar gain when navigating in areas of very close boat traffic or in very close proximity to tall buildings or bluffs. Increasing the gain allows more returned echoes into the radar. Smaller, weaker contacts can be seen with more brightness, but this comes at the expense of bringing additional noise into the display that can potentially mask small contacts. Setting the gain too low will reduce noise and interference on the display, but can prevent small contacts from being detected at all. To manually adjust the gain, begin by pressing the Gain soft key. Toggle the gain mode from auto to manual by pressing the Gain soft key again. Now, using the twist and click knob, increase or decrease the gain to the desired level. Generally, the gain should be set to a level high enough that the black background just begins to be broken by a slight speckle of yellow return. Press OK to save the setting and exit the gain menu. Your Raymarine radar system also has automatic tuning controls. While it's possible to override the automatic tuning, we strongly suggest that you leave the tune set to automatic mode. As the radar warms up and cools down, and every time you change range scales, the radar must be retuned. Failure to remember to retune the system could prevent you from detecting small radar contacts. For this reason, you should leave the tune control to automatic. One of the most useful features of any radar is the ability to accurately measure the distance and bearing to an object on the screen. To support this, the multifunction radar has several measuring tools, including a cursor, a variable range marker, or VRM, and an electronic bearing line, or EBL. If you have the cursor position data box enabled on your data bar, simply move the cursor onto a target of interest and read the target's range and bearing from the box. The trackpad control can be used to steer the cursor across the display. The VRM and EBL tools allow you to measure two separate ranges and bearings simultaneously. In advanced mode, you can float the VRM and EBL tools to take reciprocal bearings, or find bearings and ranges from one radar contact to another. To access the VRM and EBL, begin by pressing the VRM-EBL soft key. Then toggle VRM-EBL number 1 to on by pressing the VRM-EBL number 1 soft key. You can adjust the range by pressing the Adjust VRM soft key, and then using the twist and click control knob to make your adjustment. The VRM acts just like an adjustable range ring. You can adjust the bearing line by pressing the Adjust EBL soft key and using the twist and click knob to set it to the desired bearing. The EBL functions just like an adjustable straight edge. As an alternate method, you can simply turn on EBL VRM 1 or 2, then click the twist and click knob to toggle between setting the range and bearing. In either instance, press OK to save the VRM EBL settings. To turn off the VRM or EBL, press the VRM EBL soft key and toggle the desired one to off. MARPA is an acronym that stands for Miniature Automatic Radar Plotting Aid. Derived from the features found on sophisticated high-seas radar systems for commercial and military vessels, MARPA allows your Raymarine radar to track other vessels and determine their course, speed, and risk of collision. To acquire a target and track it with the MARPA, press the Target Tracking soft key. Using the trackpad, place the cursor over the radar contact you wish to track. Press the Acquire Target soft key. Over the next few minutes, the radar analyzes the movement of the contact and uses that to calculate its course and speed. It further predicts what the target's closest point of approach, or CPA, will be, as well as the amount of time it will take until it reaches that closest point of approach. If there is a danger of collision with the target, or if it violates the preset safe zone parameters you've set up in the MARPA options menu, a visual and audible alarm will sound and the target's track symbol will change to a diamond, indicating danger. The MARPA system can track up to 10 targets simultaneously. To cancel a target from tracking, move the trackpad onto the target that you want to cancel. Press the Cancel Target soft key that appears. One of the prime benefits of operating multifunction navigation displays is the ability to combine information from different sensors simultaneously. If your multifunction display is fitted with both radar and the electronic chart of the area you're navigating, then the radar overlay can be used to present the live radar scan right on top of the electronic navigation chart. Using the combined feeds from your GPS sensor, heading sensor, radar scanner, and electronic chart, Radar Overlay makes it very easy for the novice radar operator to interpret the live radar image because the image is automatically aligned to the details of the electronic chart. The radar echoes from nearby and distant navigation aids can be readily correlated to the icons on the navigation chart. Other boats and free-floating objects can be discerned from land and navigation aids by simply looking at their position on the chart. Additionally, tracked MARPA and AIS contacts are superimposed on the chart as well, giving the captain a much clearer picture of the navigational situation around him. To activate Radar Overlay, begin by pressing the Presentation soft key. Then use the Radar Overlay soft key to toggle the overlay mode from off to on. Press Cancel to exit the menu. The radar overlay image is rendered in a transparent purple layer. In the top left corner of the chart display, a secondary range indicator appears under the chart data bar. This indicator tells you the range scale your radar is currently transmitting in. In normal operation, the radar range will typically be something less than the range of the chart. The difference in the ranges is to account for the fact that the radar image is measured from the center of the radar window to the top of the display, while the chart's range is measured from the bottom of the chart window to the top of the window. When you change the chart scale using the range key, the radar scanner may respond simultaneously with a range change as well. This ensures that the clearest possible radar image is presented for the chosen chart range by automatically varying the scanner's pulse repetition frequency, or PRF. All Raymarine radar scanners use an industry-leading 8 levels of PRF to ensure the best possible target definition and clarity at all range scales. It appears. As you can see, the Raymarine multifunction radar system is a truly useful tool for marine navigation. Be sure to read through the radar section of your multifunction reference manual, as there are many more advanced features as well. If you're new to radar, be sure to turn it on and practice with it on bright and sunny days. Being able to look at the radar and look at the real world aids greatly in learning to interpret the radar image. It will make you feel much more confident when it's dark and foggy.